Okay, you should now be on page 50 of your notebook. These are the last two problems for today, and they're really using the same function. So I will do the first one with you, and then you will complete the second one on your own. For this first one, we don't have any shapes, but they've given us equation, which is nice. They don't always do that. So they've given us this equation. We're going to use this equation for both of the following problems. Let's read and understand the first problem first. So we have a given function, which is this purple one I boxed up top, gives the number of servings of a wedding cake. So it gives, which means the whole thing is equal to servings that you can get from a cake with this inch square wedding cake. What size tier, so what X, do you need to serve only 50 people? So they tell us the servings. So if we have our equation and we have a function, we need to figure out where we're plugging that 50 in. Are we going to plug it in on the other side, or are we going to plug it in for X? Well, since this is the servings and this is the tier, and we need to figure out the tier, that means that we're going to plug in that 50 on the other side. So we're going to have 50 equals 0.5 x squared. All we have to do here is solve for x, because that's our question in the first place. So one thing that I suggest doing here, it's hard to divide by decimals in your head. This is something that you need to know how to do. But 0.5 would be what fraction? It would be 1/2. So we can rewrite this equation with a fraction in it, which I know is not always what we want to do, but it will help us in this case. If our goal is to get x alone, that means we need to get rid of 1/2. 1/2 means dividing by 2, and our opposite operation for dividing is multiplying. So we need to multiply this whole thing by 2. So when we multiply both sides by 2, we will get 100 equals, the 1/2 cancels, and we just have x squared left. Now our goal is to get x alone. Do we have x yet? No, we just have x squared. So think about it for a minute. What do we do to get rid of x squared? The opposite of squaring is going to be square root. So we need to square root both sides, and x is going to be equal to 10. So that's our answer. We need, the size of our wedding cake needs to be 10 inches. So we have now answered the question. Now what you need to do on your own is, how does the size change? So remember, size was x. So how does x change if we now have servings for 200 people instead of 50? So now take some time and solve that on your own.